Now at 5:30 on WKYT this morning, Lexington police trying to figure out what led up to a shooting that's put a man in the hospital.
We're on that story also on WKYT. We're on the scene of a house fire in Lexington this morning over on Kelsey Drive. We'll have an update from that scene. Fire crew's still there.
And state police made an arrest in a deadly stabbing case in Jackson County.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you, and Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT. We're glad it's a Friday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith, and even really glad that it's going to be a nice Friday and a nice weekend.
For a change, you
For
know.
a change,
Looks
yes.
nice. And Mike is tracking that for us as we're talking about temperatures tomorrow. It could be in the 60s, so here he is.
Yeah, and we're going to have back-to-back days of seeing 60s across the region. Really nice day today, very nice tomorrow, only slight chances of rain as we go off into the night, so it's really not going to affect us all that much if we do get rained on. 40 degrees there in London. The cold spot, you got to go in Middlesboro, down in far southeastern Kentucky at 31 degrees. Other than that, most of us sitting there in the 30s. So we go through the day, and here's your forecast in towards your afternoon at 62. Extremely nice conditions. This is one of those days that teachers will take the kids outside. You, if you're just staying home today, lucky you. But yeah, you can be outside all day long. It's just a nice feeling day. Now I'm going to show you when we can expect these temperatures to take a tumble, because it is winter. I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you. A lot of news going on now.
Yeah, we are tracking an overnight shooting in Lexington. Police say a young man suffered life-threatening injuries after being shot near a strip club overnight.
And police were first notified of that man after he showed up at St. Joseph East Hospital, walked into the emergency room about 3 o'clock this morning. WKYT's Mark Barber joins us live from the strip club now, where police say the man was shot. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. Police are placing cones on the ground as evidence markers here in the parking lot behind Camelot East. They say each one of those cones marks a shell casing, and so far I've counted 8. Now, investigators say the man who was shot here was only hit 3 times, but he is now in critical condition. Investigators tell me they learned there had been a shooting after the man showed up at St. Joseph Hospital East with several gunshot wounds. They realized he had been shot behind the Richmond Road strip club a short time later when someone called them around 2:45 to report a shooting there. The man, who was shot twice in the chest and once in the leg, has since been rushed to UK Hospital in critical condition. Investigators don't know who shot him or why he was shot, because they say there were not any witnesses. They're now checking to see if surveillance cameras in the area caught the shooting. Now, the investigation is at a standstill for the moment. Police here tell me that they're waiting for their forensics unit to get here to photograph the scene and collect the evidence. Once that happens, they're hoping they will have a better idea of who shot the man and why he was shot. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, so a lot of questions remaining at that scene. And also new this morning, Lexington firefighters are currently at the scene of a house fire. This started a little bit before 4 o'clock this morning.
The fire happened on Kelsey Drive near Alexandria. Several crews are still on scene, as well as our Mike Byer, who's joining us live this morning with the latest from fire crews on scene. Good morning and welcome back.
That's right, Rebecca. Kelsey Drive remains filled with almost a dozen emergency crews, among other fire trucks. Since I've been here, I've counted roughly 10, but I believe there's probably more than that. Now, firefighters tell us this fire started just after 3:30 this morning. When they arrived on scene, they located flames coming from the home here in the 1100 block of Kelsey Drive on the city's west side. Crews tell us when they arrived on scene, they located flames coming from the roof of the home. Now, firefighters tell us 5 men were sleeping in the house when the fire started. We're told they woke up to the smell of smoke. Fortunately, all 5 were able to escape the home without injury. Investigators say the fire started in the attic. As to what started the fire, that remains unanswered at this time. I'd like to point out that no firefighters were injured in this fire. Now, firefighters tell us this home had no working smoke detectors, and they say because of that, the 5 men were extremely lucky to escape with their lives. They say this is a warning for everyone out there to make sure that your home or wherever you live has a working smoke detector. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
All right, very good reminders and important at that scene as we see. All right, we have learned some new information this morning involving a fatal stabbing in Jackson County.
State police say they've made an arrest in the case. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is joining us from our live desk with an update.
Kentucky State Police have arrested Harry Hinson of Manchester for allegedly murdering 36-year-old Bradley Muncie. Now, we are told Hinson was found a short time after the murder in his car near the home where the murder took place. Police say 4 other people were present at the time of the murder. Douglas Allen tells us he was there. He says he was in a trailer when a man came in saying someone stole his medication. Allen says that man grabbed a knife and a fight ensued in the driveway where Muncie was stabbed in the throat. Police say Henson allegedly fatally stabbed Muncie and threatened the 4 other people who were present. Allen said he ran Henson off after the stabbing.
The only thing I know to do was to grab my chainsaw because I didn't got a gun or anything. And I fired my chainsaw up and run him off and run him up the road.
Now, Muncie was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have charged Henson with murder and 4 counts of wanton endangerment. Police say Henson is currently in the hospital for treatment for an injury he received during that stabbing. At the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Well, Justice Antonin Scalia will lie in repose today at the Supreme Court before his funeral tomorrow. After a private service, the public will be able to walk past his casket.
President Obama will pay his respects today at the Supreme Court. He will not be attending tomorrow's funeral. Don Champion is outside the Supreme Court with more and why the president's decision is raising some questions.
Known as a conservative warrior, today thousands will pay respects to Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. President Obama and the First Lady will remember the justice as his body lies in repose in the Great Hall of the Supreme Court. The president has faced criticism from the right for not planning to attend Scalia's funeral tomorrow.
What the president thinks is appropriate is respectfully paying tribute to high-profile, patriotic American citizens, even when you don't agree on all the issues.
The 79-year-old died of natural causes over the weekend. Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz plans to attend the funeral and criticized the president.
By the way, he's going to Cuba, but somehow Obama can't find time to go to Justice Scalia's funeral.
Scalia's memory is being overshadowed by a bitter partisan debate over whether President Obama should nominate his successor.
The president has the right and obligation under the Constitution to send forth a nominee.
At a town hall in South Carolina last night, Jeb Bush broke with his fellow Republicans who want to leave it to the next president to decide.
We should be respectful of the Constitution, but whatever powers are afforded the presidency, the president ought to use them.
Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid expects the president to announce his nomination in just over 2 weeks. Don Champion, CBS News, Washington.
Now, both Scalia's father and son will lead his funeral mass this Saturday at the Basilica of the National Shrine in D.C., and Vice President Joe Biden and Jill Biden will attend in place of President Obama. Presidential candidates are making their final pitch to voters today ahead of South Carolina's Republican primary and Nevada's Democratic caucus. Hillary Clinton currently holds an 8-point lead over Bernie Sanders in the new national polling, but polls also show the two being neck and neck in the state of Nevada. On the other hand, Donald Trump continues to hold a commanding lead over the GOP field, with John Kasich, the governor of Ohio, and Senator Marco Rubio in a virtual tie for second and third places there. The polls will be open to voters in both states tomorrow.
A former Lee County Circuit Clerk has been charged with abuse of the public trust. 58-year-old Emma Adams is scheduled to be arraigned on the charge today. Investigators say between January of 2014 and September last year, Adams took more than $100,000 that the administrative offices of the court had given to Lee County.
The state Senate has approved a bill that would create 2 different marriage license forms in Kentucky. One form would be for straight couples, the other for same-sex couples. Both forms would not include the county clerk's name. This bill is in response to Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples for religious reasons. The bill now goes on to the State House.
A Nicholasville woman has been charged after animal control says that they found 2 starving dogs at her home. One dog was treated at a vet's office and is now at an animal shelter, but animal control is not sure if the other dog will ever recover enough to be put up for adoption.
This dog had to be literally carried to the truck. When we set him in there, we tried to stand him up, but he immediately fell forward and collapsed.
Tough to hear. The dog's owner, Vicki Madden, has been charged with second-degree animal cruelty. She told us off camera she tried her best to feed the dogs, but didn't know how to find help for them.
Well, Jordan Smith went back to his university for the first time since winning The Voice 2 months ago. Smith had been studying music and business at Lee University in Tennessee, but he took a break for the big show. The university threw a welcome back party for the Harlan County native. Jordan said it was real nice to be back on campus.
It's really nice to be home. It's so comfortable, and it's just really wonderful to be here with them.
And Jordan says that he plans to finish his music business program at Lee at some point. He's not yet sure exactly when that's going to happen.
10 Lexington firefighters took to the court for a good cause during halftime at last night's UK game. The firefighters teamed up with UK Athletics and played a 5-minute exhibition game to bring awareness to a fellow Lexington firefighter battling cancer. Matt Logsden was diagnosed with stage 4 lung, liver, spine, and skin cancer last month. He's now receiving treatment in Chicago. The firefighters played last night and said the game was a way to show Logsden he's not fighting alone.
He's a fighter, you know. I've made a few runs with him. I know where his heart is. I know how he feels about all this, the support and everything. And he knows that as brothers and sisters, we're here for him.
A GoFundMe page for Matt Logsden has now raised more than $30,000 in 2 weeks. We have a link to that on our page on WKYT.com. So a great thing that they did for him.
It certainly was. And by the way, if you're just joining us on that one, of course, the Kentucky Wildcats won the basketball game 80-70 over Tennessee. A little revenge there after a loss 2 weeks ago.
Guess so.
5:40 now, 20 till 6. Let's check live drive traffic, see what's going on your Friday morning. Here is a look outside right now. Normal traffic flow in most of the region. We have no reports of any major delays or problems. The weather is good. In fact, you have a little moonlight to drive by right at this point.
Moonlight.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was going to say moonroof or sunroof or
could do
whatever
that.
you
Could
call
open it up. But
open it up.
Looks good out there this morning. No reports of any early problems.
I mean, maybe don't open it up right this second, but you know, later today when you got some nice sunshine.
Get some fresh air, yeah. WKYT this morning, on the air with the latest on your Friday, and that weekend is coming. When it'll be real nice tomorrow to open your sunroof.
You know,
roll
really
down the window.
just any day. To help with financial issues, the Philly Police Department has extended famous rapper Kanye West a job. Because I guess he's so in debt, right? We'll explain when WKYT This Morning returns. Don't you feel bad for him, Micah?
This is actually an awesome story coming up. You'll want to stay tuned for this one. 43 degrees there in Lexington, 45 in Richmond. Beautiful day in store. And that goes for tomorrow, too. But rain is on the way there on Sunday. I'll break that forecast down coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have a wind advisory in effect that will go from 7 a.m. depending on where you are, 7 or 10 a.m. this morning through 7 p.m. later on this afternoon. There is your look. It's really along 75 and back toward the west, but that does include portions in the northern zones stretching all the way to Moorhead. So up toward the north, you could go areas in this region back toward the west, but you know, for the most part, most of us are going to be seeing some pretty strong winds. Even if you're not in this advised area, east and southeast, you're still looking at good 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. But if you're in this region, yeah, you're talking 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. Let's take a look around the roads. For the most part, not seeing any issues. And this time, this morning, yesterday morning, we had some black ice issues. I don't see that really happening for the most part. We could have some isolated spots, but nothing like what we had yesterday morning. But Athens, Boonesboro looks really good. No fog issues across the region as you go up 75 all the way to Winchester Road. And the southern split, we're doing all right. Russell Cave, yeah, just fine, along with Paris Pike, looking just fine this morning right there near Bryan Station. We're 43 degrees in Lexington. Yesterday we finished off in the mid-40s for highs, and we're already there this morning, which means one thing. Here comes a big flow in from the south and southwest, and it feels great outside this morning. By 11 a.m., you're talking 50 degrees. By noontime, you're talking 54 degrees. By 1 p.m., you're talking 57 degrees. I mean, these are really nice temperatures there for the teachers trying to get the kids outside. And as I was driving home, I usually go by this one school as I'm driving home, looked off in the playground. Playground didn't have any kids on it because that snow, remember that playground a lot of times is off the ground. It's kind of built up with that bark. So, yeah, that snow was still on that playground. So, yeah, you weren't able to get them out there. You'll be able to today. Beautiful day in store with those gusts, 30 to 40 miles per hour. It'll pump in that warmer air. You'll love it. Then toward the afternoon, you're talking about tomorrow, another mild day. Can't rule out a slight rain chance. Talking 20%, 30%. It's not all that bad. Most of us do stay dry. Sunday is when some rain moves back in place. Check this 7-day out. Here's what we're looking at. 60s next couple of days. 50s on Sunday. That's when a front starts to move on in and brings us that rain chance. But off toward next week, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be the days that we watch very closely as we're sitting there with another system heading our way. Could be one of those systems like we just had this past one where you get the rain and the snow. Kind of a mixture of both, so we'll see how that turns out. So several days away, so we'll see how it goes.
Live in the moment, right?
You
We'll
better.
enjoy this.
Yeah. Next 48 hours look good.
We'll keep an eye on next week. Thank you. 5:47 right now. Police in Philadelphia are trying to help Kanye West out of debt, and it appears that they're offering him a job.
Wonder if he'll take him up on it. The police department tweeted out this photo of the famous rapper yesterday. It reads, "We are hiring, starting salary of just under $48,000. It finishes with, "You could be debt-free by the year 3122. West recently tweeted that his dreams brought him into debt. Poor thing, citing his music business and clothing line, saying both are costing around $53 million. He then tweeted that Mark Zuckerberg should invest $1 billion in him as the greatest artist of all time. As for the job vacancy, Philly police say West has yet to respond.
Yeah, it might be a while on that coming through.
Something tells me, that may never
Someone says
happen.
that's a little tongue-in-cheek offer as well, right?
Good sense of humor, though. Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
Also, we'll be letting you know what's going on in the web and social media this morning, what's trending. We have some health news. We'll update you on traffic. Our top stories are on the way, and it is so good you're here on WKYT this morning. Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. It's coming up on 5:52. Expect some wind today, but otherwise some great weather for a couple of days.
It's good news for us. And let's take a look right now at some of the other stories we're making news right now.
A man is in critical condition this morning after Lexington police say he was shot 3 times. They say they were first notified about the victim when he showed up at St. Joseph East Hospital. Investigators say he was shot behind a Lexington strip club located along Richmond Road.
Firefighters say a Lexington home caught fire this morning. It happened around 3:30 on Kelsey Drive off Alexandria. Crews say 5 people were inside when the fire started, none of them injured. Firefighters think that it started in the attic of the home. President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle pay their respects to Antonin Scalia as his body lies in repose at the Supreme Court.
The 79-year-old Supreme Court justice died of natural causes over the weekend during a hunting trip to Texas. Scalia's death has sparked a fierce debate in Washington and out on the campaign trail over who should replace him. His funeral is tomorrow in D.C. Donald Trump stepped back last night, hours after blasting Pope Francis for suggesting that his plan to build a wall at the border with Mexico is not Christian. At a town hall in South Carolina, the billionaire candidate called the Holy Father a wonderful guy, saying the press exaggerated his comments. Pope Francis also made headlines for suggesting contraceptives could be used to slow the spread of the Zika virus.
Overdose deaths from common sedatives have quadrupled during the past 20 years.
And that's according to researchers from the Albert Einstein College of Medicine. The study found in 75% of the fatal overdoses, the sedatives were taken along with opioid painkillers and/or alcohol. A large 10-year study finds stenting and surgery are equally effective when it comes to lowering the long-term risk of a stroke from a narrowed carotid artery. Researchers from the Mayo Clinic say the 2 procedures were equally beneficial in both older and younger patients, as well as in male and female patients.
1 in 3 adults do not get enough sleep, according to new government stats. Sleep experts recommend adults 18 to 60 years old sleep at least 7 hours each night for good health. The CDC says South Dakota had the highest sleep rates. Hawaii had the lowest. 5:54 is the time. Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic. Thanks for the map. Looking pretty good out there. No major issues for you. And now it's time to check what's making news online with Bill.
Well, our news staff very busy this morning as we are keeping you updated on air and online at WKYT.com. Lexington police looking into that shooting outside a strip club off Richmond Road. The victim now listed critical at UK Hospital. Reminder, there was gunfire at that location a couple of weeks ago that struck a nearby business, so police are looking into all the circumstances. All right, Kentucky Public University president speaking out about Governor Bevin's proposed budget cuts. The president of KCTCS says it will lead to tuition hikes. We have that story online for you this morning. Also trending, Kentucky's sweet revenge over Tennessee last night. A big win for the Cats as they romped over the Vols 80-70. It was a turnaround for the Cats who lost in Knoxville just a couple of weeks ago. Also on Kentucky.com, the Kentucky women made it look easy with an 83-60 win over Mississippi State last night. It's the third win in a row for the team. They seem to be gelling at just the right time. And the Lexington Council has approved a resolution last night supporting a $250 million overhaul of the convention center downtown. The city would put up $10 million to go along with $60 million that the governor has set aside in his budget. CBS This Morning follows us at 7 with your eye-opener and, of course, the very latest from the campaign trail on the eve of the South Carolina primary and the Nevada caucus. And of course, we'll have local updates. Join us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram. And for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com.
Such a good looking start this morning. The roadways look fine. The winds aren't really cranking just yet. I mean, we'll really start to see that pick up as we jump off into the afternoon. Once that sun rises, beautiful day in store. So the roadways look good. It feels pretty good. Here comes some wind. We can deal with the wind. I mean, the wind's not really going to cause major issues. 7 a.m. to about 7 p.m. That's where we're seeing that wind advisory. If you go back toward, say, east of I-75, now you're talking about 10 a.m. and through 7 p.m. So, yeah, those winds cranking 30, 40 miles per hour. What you're going to be seeing, those temperatures there in the 40s, you're going to be seeing those really jump in towards your afternoon. I would say another 15 to 20 degrees from what you're seeing there on the screen. Yes, we could see temperatures around 60 to 65 degrees as we track through the day. Good looking weather in store. So let's talk about the emoji cast, okay? How's this going to make you feel through the day? A lot of sunshine. The sunglasses will be needed. Temperatures by the afternoon at 62. I think that's a little happy face there in somebody's text message later on this afternoon. Good looking day in store. We're going to talk about your weekend. We're going to get into next week with that storm system. Coming up with another hour of WKYT News. If you're about to take off, have a great day and a great weekend. We'll see you later.